Hello and welcome to Diana's Makerspace for this June 23rd, 2025. This is a top that I'm making for a friend of mine. As you can see, I took a little bit of length. It actually looks like it actually can be used as a dress for the model that I'm using, who's the same size as my friend. Um, and basically, you can see I made the sleeves. This is a silk satin fabric, so it's very, you have to use special skill to sew it because of fraying. If you look at the seams are nice and tight, nice and even. And what I did is I made a t-shirt look where basically I did a zigzag stitch on here, zigzag stitch on the back, and zigzag stitch down here, which I'm going to serge later. And I cuffed the top and I'm going to cuff the back at 28 inches. The thing about when you use silk satin though is because of frays, I found the easy way for me to sew the seams was actually sew the sleeves. Was actually to do this. You take the sleeve, take a traditional sleeve pan. Let me get one. Take a traditional sleeve pattern, and then what I did for my friend, because she has a little bit muscular, I added about an inch on each side for the sleeves, like that and that. And then what I did is I added a selvage on the edge here, because when you sew sleeves, the thing you have to remember, each half inch or centimeter that you take off here from the sleeves, you have to multiply by 3, so it decreases the sleeve diameter by factor 3. So if you take off half an inch, it reduces the sleeve diameter by 1.5 inch or about 3 centimeters, which can make it that the armhole doesn't fit. That's why I add a selvage. So when you do sew the sleeves, sew a very narrow seam allowance. Sometimes people say 5/8, but I actually went to about 1/8 or half a centimeter. And if the sleeves, what I did to sew it was I put the sleeves together like this, so this end here, and then basically so this top, so this part, and then just sewed along. What I'm going to do next time is I'm not going to sew so high up. I'm going to sew about down here so I have some extra space, and then it makes it easier to put the sleeves on. And then when you put the sleeves in, you got to remember you got to put the sleeves inside out. So basically, good side faces good side, bad side faces bad side. And then when you sew, remember this won't go along the whole sewing machine. So you got to pull this up, and then you just got to sew one half, and then you come along and sew the other half. Well, let me know what you think, and I'll let you know what my friends' thoughts are. I'll plan to meet on Friday. And this has been Diana's Makerspace. And as always, please feel free to reach me on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, or Pinterest. Just remember, sometimes based on how I feel, sometimes it takes a while for me to respond to messages. Thanks again for watching, and this has been Diana's Makerspace.